All right, class. Sorry I'm not here with you guys today. My kids have a snow day, so I am going to be busy with them. So I apologize. Today you're going to be working on some inequalities. Now, I don't have a lot of time, and I really do apologize. But today you're going to be working on 2-1. So what I want you to do is on page 28 of your student journal. Okay, and it's going to be writing and graphing inequalities. We're not going to worry about this first one here, just because some of these examples are not the best exploration. So I want you to go ahead and go down to the bottom of page 28 and notice there is an inequality. And I would love if I was there and I could say to you, what do you remember? So hopefully you kind of remember when you deal with inequalities that you have your variable, and notice you want all the numbers bigger than 1. So this will be x is greater than 1, but because this is filled in, you put the bar underneath, okay? And if I was there, I would be asking you these questions. So if you turn to the next page, notice there's a few more explorations, okay? Notice this is the exact same one, only notice it's an open circle. So we would do x is greater than 1 without the bar, okay? So hopefully you kind of remember these. They shouldn't be too difficult. If you turn to the next page here, on page 30, they give you some vocabulary words, so I just want to kind of quick go through them. Notice it does say in your own words, so if you want to look these up from the book, you could see the actual definition from the book. But an inequality is going to be a greater than or less than, and then it could also have the bars underneath where you do the or equal to, okay? A solution is what makes it true. So what is the numbers that work in the problem? A solution set is really the same. A solution set is all of the values. So notice like down here, the solution is x is less than 2. The solution set is just kind of how you write it. So this is kind of the solution set. So really, these two are kind of the same thing. So don't worry about the difference between them. They're really asking for the same thing. When it says to graph, they just want you to do this, okay? So whenever you see the word core concepts, those are always kind of the big ideas. So down here, if you notice, see how we have an open circle on both of these? See how there's no bar. This one, it's a filled in circle, so see how there's the bar underneath, okay? Notice the less than, that's the less than symbol. It tells you right there to the left. Notice pointing to the right, that's the greater than symbol, okay? I know you've done these before. They shouldn't be too difficult. So if we turn to the next page, I would like you to pause the video here, and I would like you to actually try all of page 31 and page 32, okay? So go ahead and please pause the video here and give them a try. Yes, you may work with your neighbor, but please try them. All right, hopefully you've paused it and you went through. It says 12 is greater than or equal to 5 times the number n. Now notice it does not tell me to solve, okay? It just wants me to write it. All right, the next one, it says 1/3 of the number h is less than 15. Number 3, 7 is less than or equal to the difference of, so difference is subtraction of q and a number. The sum, so u plus 14 is more than 6. Okay, down here it says tell whether the value is a solution. So what we have to do is we have to plug 19 in. So if we go 19 minus 7, is that less than 12? And if you work that out, no, it's 12 is less than 12. So we'd say no, it's not a solution because 12 is equal to 12, not less than, okay? Over here, we do the same thing. We plug 1 in. So we have 9 is greater than 3 times 1 plus 6. So that's 9 is greater than or equal to 9. Notice because we have the bar, that would be true. So we would say, yes, it is a solution. Okay? All right, down on this one, we're going to have to graph this. So we have it's greater than or equal to, like this way. Okay? We have less than or equal to, so it's going to be filled in, and it's going to be this way. So again, you should have remembered these from middle school. These hopefully shouldn't be too difficult for you. On the next one here, we've got greater than, but notice there's no bar, so it's an open circle like that. Notice this one is less than, so it's an open circle this way. okay? Now they're giving you the graph and you have to come up with the inequality. I always like to keep my variable on the left how they do. If you keep your variable on the left, then your symbol will match the graph. So this would be x is greater than 1. On this one, you would have x is less than 0, like that. On 13, you would have x is greater than or equal to -3. And then on 14, you have x is less than or equal to 3, like that. So you basically just have to write the inequality that they gave you from above, okay? So we are going to be covering 2 lessons today. So on the second lesson, notice you're just using addition and subtraction. So instead of how we did it on this first lesson, how there was no operations, you just now have to add the operation in, okay? I really don't like this first example because if you do this first example, you really have to know a lot about football. And if you don't care about football, then this doesn't make any sense to you. So it talks about like incompletes and all that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and skip that because again, you really have to love football. And then this also talks about football, okay? Now, down here on the bottom, this is what your problems are going to look like today. You might remember something about flipping the sign. That only happens when you multiply and divide. So in today, you don't have to worry about changing the sign. We're simply just going to like subtract 3, so you have x is less than 1. So if we were to do this one, notice because this is a -3, we would just add 3 like that. So we have x is greater than or equal to 8. We don't have to change the sign or anything like that, okay? So this is just about addition and subtraction. Notice they give you those core concepts again, just kind of talking about how you can add the same quantity and things like that. But I don't think that's really the same. Notice adding the same number. So I don't think that's a big deal, okay? If you go over to the bottom of page 36, notice they have some more problems here, okay? I'm going to try one with you, and then I'll let you try a couple on your own. So on number 1, you're going to add 3 to both sides. So that's going to be x is less than -1. Now, they do want you to graph them. Notice they give you a number line here. Don't feel like you have to write down every single number. Just put down the number that you have to graph or that they're asking you for. You're going to do an open circle, and then it's going to be less than. So it kind of looks like that, okay? Number 2, do you see how the variable's on the right? You can still do this. It's no big deal. You add 3 to both sides, so that becomes a 0 is greater than h. So I'm still going to put the 0. I'm still going to have the open circle. But because my variable is on the right, my graph won't match. So this is saying that 0 is greater than h, which means the numbers have to be smaller. So see how my symbol does not match my graph. They're going to be opposite of each other. That's what happens when the variable comes on the right instead of the left. Okay, it's not a big deal. You just have to watch for that. So what I want you to do here is, once again, I want you to pause the video, and I want you to try these remaining problems. Yes, you can work with a partner, but I want you to try them before I go over them. Otherwise, you don't come up with your own questions, okay? So go ahead and pause the video and give them a try. All right, hopefully you pause them. And what we're going to do, I'm just going to quickly go through them. So on this one, you should have noticed that was a zip zap. So that's really s plus 1, like that. So you would have subtracted 1. So you got s is greater than or equal to 1. Now notice we have to fill this in, and it's going to be greater than, like that. We've got to put these together first. So this is a -3 plus u. And then we're going to add 3. So it's u is less than 1. So notice again, my variable is showing up on the left, which is awesome because then it matches. Number 5 doesn't show up on the left, but that's okay. We can do it. So I'm going to put the variables together. Now I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. So I get 2 is less than or equal to c. So here's my 2, and it's filled in. Now because they're opposite, my graph is going to go this way. Okay? I know I'm going kind of fast, but hopefully you've already done and seen these before, okay? Number 6, Again, I'm going to put those together, so that's a plus P, and I'm also going to put that together. So I'm kind of doing two things, one on each side. Now, if I subtract the 15, I get P is greater than negative 2. So I have a negative 2, and then it's greater than going this way. Again, if you can keep that variable on the left, it's the best case scenario, okay? All right, a story problem. You have $15 to spend on groceries. So if you think about this, you have $15, but you cannot go over that $15, okay? So you want the 15, you can't be more than 15. So we want it to look like this. And then it says you have $12.50 worth of groceries already in your cart. Write an inequality for how much more you can spend. So if you are, sorry, $12.25. If you have $12.25 already, how much more can you spend, would be plus M. So if I subtract the $12.25, so this comes out to be $2.75. So basically I cannot spend more than $2.75. So it would be $2.75 or less. Now, they don't ask me to graph it, which is nice because this is a decimal, okay? So this would be our answer. All right? I hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.